Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is DJ B Rice here on Mid-Atlantic Jams on WRR 97.3 FM. We have two special guests with us today. They've been cultivating America's dance floor and help cultivate America's dance floor for the past 4 decades. Here, dropping a new project CultJam Love with their new songstress that they have appointed to this group, Mystina Soul. Joining me today is Mike and Alex from CultJam. How are y'all doing today, fellas?
We're doing
All
good.
right, all right. Doing great, man.
Doing
Doing
good.
great.
That's great. That's great. Let's get it started because you released the
Where are
project.
you at?
I'm in Richmond, VA.
DMV area.
DMV. Yeah, it's funny. People call
Okay.
um
DMV, right?
yeah, people call like Northern Virginia. It's always a topic of conversation. People call Northern Virginia area, the like the Baltimore area and the DC area, like the DMV, and it's always a talk of conversation whether Richmond
Right.
and Baltimore is considered in that. Um, but yeah.
Oh,
Right.
I guess we'd be considered. We kind of are. I mean, it's one East Coast, one love, for real, for real. But yeah,
hmm
That's right. That's right.
but tell us how this Cult Jam Love project came about because y'all have definitely, I feel like, been busy keeping it busy musically. How did y'all link with Mystina to create this new project?
Yeah, I
we
think
there you go.
I think COVID really was the set off to that, we watched a lot of our peers pass through COVID, musicians our age and everything. And we were like, yo, and I said, look, Alex, we have so much music with us, you know what I mean? And we're relatively healthy. I
Yeah.
mean, and we still got we still got our stuff going. And if we don't do it now, we're just letting our gifts just pass, So
Legacy.
let's get it done now. We had been talking about it for a lot of years, and I think our apprehension was how people will accept a new singer with us. You know what I mean? So I was always like, well, how's that going to float? We're going to get some negative feedback and this and that. I was like, yo, we need to just do this. I mean, we need to step forward with a new sound and a new vocalist and let every people accept that. You know what I mean? And especially when Alex introduced me to Mystina and I saw what she had vocally and her writing talent, it was perfect. It was like, this is a perfect thing, perfect way for us to come back and be co-jam, and co-jam love was just exactly that. It's, this is the album of love, you know what I mean? Love of music, love of life, you know what I mean? I mean, we're not young anymore, you know what I mean? But we've had great lives. And I
hmm
look back, I would not change anything, you know what I mean? So, co-jam love is that expresses everything, the love of music, the love of dance, the love of life.
Yeah, and I noticed one thing I've noticed that Mystina actually flows, she brings a different element too as well because on the track Hard to Breathe, she actually is dropping bars on it. Too as well.
Yeah.
Talking about hard to breathe. You're talking about actual like life issues. I feel like that track might have been recorded maybe around the time y'all started to really start to work because it was definitely talking about dealing with life issues along with bringing you bring grooves to the dance floor too as well with the album. This is like a nonstop, this high BPM energy experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. She we always say when we get together with her, she's an old soul. She's
Yeah.
an old soul. You know what I mean? That's why she grooves with us so well. I mean, she's much younger than us. She can almost be our daughter. But I mean, she's an old soul, and she tells it like it is, and that's what we love about her. I mean, it's really a perfect mix.
And I saw you in the What Love
And we
Can
get
Do
along
video.
well.
That's great. That's great. I saw you in the What Love Can Do video mic jamming along on the Roland Octopad, but you also had the native drum on your left too as well. What are the
That's
different
true, absolutely.
because you started playing drums in the 70s. So what were just the different styles between just like the technology now compared to just the percussion back then?
Yeah, wow. When we started out, I started out on the Roland back then, and we toured with it,
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
yeah, remember? And
Yeah,
and 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 they would break down. I mean, back then, I guess the technology wasn't that great. They would break down on the road, and we would have Roland send me new Rolands, send me new stuff. And so yeah, the technology of that has really advanced a lot. Along with Simmons, we had the Simmons drum sets, to get the sound of like, can you feel the beat? And I
yeah.
wonder if I take it home. So our drummer had Simmons sets. Yeah, wow, the technology really changed a lot. But we always try to keep also that, like I said, like on there, I have a Brazilian drum called Atabaki, and that's a Brazilian drum. And so I always try to keep those natural flavors in as well as using, the 808 sound of the Roland and this and that, So it's always a nice mixture of sounds, percussion sounds. Our grooves are grooves through the percussion, the drums and the percussion, make our grooves, and so I always try to keep them, a mixture of technology and of course that organic feel.
Like you're saying, it was rooted in the native drums, and also with
That's
organic,
awesome.
it actually has some samples that y'all like popularly you that I feel like are popular that real heads will catch up on too as well. And I feel like that's keeping the musical circle going round and round just musically.
Samples on this
You
album.
No
yeah,
samples.
you didn't. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Yeah, interpolate.
It was
Yeah,
all,
straight
yeah. I
interpolation.
mean,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. You're right. You're right.
we purposely tried to make it sound like samples. That was the purpose of it. But
Yeah,
Alex actually played everything, and we just made it sound gritty.
yeah.
Get that sample feel. But Alex actually played everything.
That's crazy. But um Alex like
Yes, sir.
he's definitely a meister like when it comes to music. So I could totally just see him doing that because there's some people that Alex have worked with that will get into later in the interview. I had to ask him a question. I was doing some research. But
Oh, uh-oh,
um
uh-oh.
but like y'all are hip hop pioneers and y'all really started making music around the time hip hop was in its infant stages.
Oh yeah.
How
Oh
was
yeah.
it? How was it when you released the first single? How was just like the hip hop climate at that time? Because I was born in 87. So like I go back and research and it
Wow.
pretty much starts off with me, like Houdini Escape in the first Run DMC album. That's where a lot of people say they really started knowing that hip hop started to make like it started to be this musical storm. What do y'all remember about hip hop back then?
I remember being on the show with LL Cool J when he had Rock the Bells out.
Oh wow.
Yes, man.
Remember that Danceteria?
Yep, yep.
Hip
That's
hop was at an
material.
all-time prime then.
That's
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and everybody had character. Everybody had like personality. Nowadays everything I can't tell who's who. But everybody, you knew who Big Daddy Kane was, who LL was, who Public Enemy was, who on and on.
Yeah, yeah. Our first tours, I mean, along with the fact that, I brought Kango to full force, and that's how Roxanne first came about.
I never knew that.
wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow, I never knew
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kango and I went to the same high school, and he in his first year, he was bullied. I was a senior. He was bullied, so he stopped me in the hall and said, "Yo, man, can
You
you
gave me a
like,
helping hand?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
can you
that's
like,
cool. That's cool.
can I hang with you for a minute? You know what I mean?
And I
So
can
he
see
stood
you.
by
I can
me,
see you. I can see you doing that because you're like kind of tall. I feel like you're kind of tall from the videos that I seen that I saw.
Yeah, I mean, and we were into working out and stuff like that. So even though I was in high school, I had a little stature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they stepped off of him, and Kengo's a talker. He was telling me all the things he did. Yo, man, I pop, I break, I do this, I rap, I da, da. Just talking my ear off. So finally, I brought him down the block, and he did his thing for full force, man. It was, we had never seen nothing like that. He was great, and he brought Doc around. Him and Doc put on that
Wow.
show they did, and Full Force loved him, man. So, they end up doing Roxanne, bringing E in, and then doing Roxanne. But so yeah, we were part of
Yep.
that mixture. And our first tours were like with Mantronics, like Kurt
Yeah.
said, was with Curtis
Curtis
Blow.
Blow,
And those were our first
Biz
tours.
Markie.
We were in depth in the hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if I Take You Home was the part of that hip hop culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we were
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. Speaking of I Wonder If I Take You Home, it was originally released on a compilation called Breakdancing, correct? And it was on
Break dancing. Yeah.
it was on a record label by the name of CBS Records, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
How
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about CBS Records because I feel like we never, you mentioned LL and Rock the Bells. I want to say Def Jam had a deal with CBS Records, but we
Yeah.
never hear about just CBS Records. I always find it fascinating that like a TV company owned a
Yeah.
record label back then. Do you have any more information you could tell just like the listeners about
Yeah. Well,
CBS?
well, CBS Records is basically Columbia Records,
Yeah.
and Columbia Records, Toto. Who else?
Or Estefan at the time.
Well, Cheryl Lynn.
Okay.
So many artists were on Columbia Records. Oh yeah, in Living Color,
Liverpool.
Living
And I used to
Color.
be with Living
Multiple
Color.
scenario,
Yeah, they were label mates. The Bangles. Yeah, so Columbia Records was a big label. They had a lot of power. Um,
Martika.
yeah, Martika. Oh, and finally, yeah, he ended up marrying
Yeah.
Mariah
I'm
Carey. So Mariah
Matola.
Carey was on the label.
yeah.
Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola was a big. He swung a big bat. He was powerful. You know what I mean? And that he did a lot of great things for us. Got us on a lot. He had us. The label was so powerful. When David Bowie came to New York, he said, "I want Lisa and CultJam on the David Bowie bill." And people were like, "David Bowie, Lisa and CultJam?" You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
he made it happen. He got us on the bill with
Yeah.
with
At Giant
David Bowie
Stadium.
at Giant Stadium. You know what I mean?
In,
That's how powerful the label was.
in hindsight, that David Bowie and Lisa in the Cult Jam, it fits. Like that seems like a epic Friday night at an event right there now in 2025. But yeah.
Right. When you look at it now, the crowd wasn't happy with us.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They were not happy with us. They were throwing toilet paper at us, yo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Alex started throwing it back. I was like, I joined him. I started throwing it back. Yo, it was
That's
crazy. It was crazy.
that's wild. How was growing up with Full Force?
Oh man, I met Bo Legaloo. I had met Bo Legaloo. Bo Legaloo challenged me on a pop and lock.
What?
He walked up to me and said, "Yo, I heard you can pop." I said, "Yeah." This man comes up to me. I guess he was probably in his first year of college, I think. And he said, "Yeah, man, I heard you pop a lot." He challenged me. I was pretty good at the time. I was doing the Michael Jackson puppet pop. If you look at Dance Machine, what I mean, the old school pop and lock. That's what I was doing. And so that's how I actually met Bow Legged Lou. And but I became friends with all the guys on the block, and we played football, we played basketball, we played all the sports. Man, our block was full of guys that just challenged each other in sports. But we all had a dream of music. We used to listen to Cameo and Slave and Earth, and Fire, and we wanted to be that. That was our dream. And the three brothers already had a band before they came to the block. So they were already involved in music.
What were they called
And
again?
the oh wow, I can't remember the name now. I'm getting old.
Triad or something? I forgot
No,
the
no, I Delphi. It was something like, yeah, I can't remember right now. But they already had a group when they came to the
Yep.
block. So then they got together with Kurt and them, and they got them into playing instruments. And my mom bought me a Congo, and I was playing congas for us, and we started playing the high schools and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We got popular in the neighborhood. All the block parties, because back in the days you had block parties every summer.
Yeah.
All the blocks in the neighborhood had block parties. Have a DJ, and bands would play. I mean, music was different back then, man.
Mhm.
We had, I mean, Brooklyn was full of Crown Heights, Crown Heights Affair. Who else is from Brooklyn? Alex
Brass
Sky,
construction,
Brass Construction,
BT Express.
you
I didn't know
Express.
BT Express
I
was
mean,
from
Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
had bands.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I think they're from Brooklyn.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And GQ, GQ
GQ.
always played in Brooklyn. Yeah,
Okay.
so Brooklyn had bands, and bands wanted to be popular, and that's how Full Force and us grew up in wanting music, wanting to be a band.
How did being in New York help y'all just musically connect the dots? Because I feel like being in New York, like at that time, it was like it just seems like from a outsider standpoint, record label, tons of record labels around. Um, if you are at a club, you might run into an A&R. Like, yeah, how was it just like back then, connection wise, and how quick did it take y'all to just I feel like create just that ground, of course, the groundbreaking I wonder if I take you home, like how long did it take you to connect to like a major?
Well, like I said, there was so many bands,
Yeah.
and you know, and people were getting signed. You know what I mean? And so we
And we
always knew people that had a deal. Someone always had a deal. Go ahead, Alex.
we were signed to personal records at first
Person.
We were signed
before
to a small independent.
before CBS and Columbia took us over.
Okay.
Jurgen Kordelich, that was his
Yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
And his wife was Claude Jabari.
Claudia
Claude
Barr.
Jabari. Claude Jabari was his wife. She was an artist on Personal Records. So he was a independent label. And Full Force were on an independent label too before they got signed to Columbia as well. So back then, there were labels. Like I said, New York was full of artists and bands, and there were labels all over the place. You
Oh
get
yeah.
signed to a small label or a large label, and
Yeah.
we got signed to a small label, independent Personal
Remember
Records.
Select Records?
Select Records, yeah, Select
God,
Records.
yeah,
Right,
everybody, all
right,
of
right, right.
Select
Yeah,
Records was a
UTFO
powerhouse.
was on Select Records.
Yeah, they were a powerhouse for
yeah.
a long time because I remember they even into the
Woo.
they had Kid and Play and MOP. And yeah,
Right, exactly,
yeah, until
exactly,
probably until
exactly.
like the mid 90s. They were
Fred.
yeah,
Trevor Neo.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I work with Fred in different projects, working with Howie T.
Yeah, Howie
Hitman
T,
Howie
yeah.
T.
Because Howie
Yeah,
T
man.
produced for the real Roxanne.
Right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
her bad.
and
Because I
Chub
remember he
Rock.
produced her bad self. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
played on
Chub
that.
Rock.
I worked on that
Yeah,
album.
really,
Yeah,
the real Roxanne album.
it was Howie's Teed Off. I did the
Wow.
music for the Howie's Teed Off. Yeah,
How was that? Because I totally feel like the
yeah.
real Roxanne doesn't get. Of course, she's a hip hop legend, but I feel like she doesn't get her props because I played her bad self on the show and it aged gracefully, like just the sample and everything. Just how was it? Just interacting with her back in the day.
Oh, it was great. She was something else.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to be bigger than she got. Because she had the look, she had the sound, everything, the
I
yeah,
music.
yeah.
I fly
Much
first
props to
class while
AJ.
y'all fly coach. She was going in.
Ah,
Yeah, she was.
She was.
I worked on a few of Howie T's projects
What
with
were some of the other ones? Okay.
special ed with Chubb Rock, um, the Little Indian, this guy, the rapper named Little
um,
Indian.
Oh, you're talking about the dude
yeah.
he had the song with Buck. He had a remix with Buck Wild too.
Yep, yep,
It's like one little Indian smoking in the
and
street.
Little
Yeah.
Sean. I
And
worked
Okay.
Little
on Little
Sean.
Sean's album. I worked on Color Me Bad's album with Howie T.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
Wow, yo.
Uh, remixes for Maxi Priest.
Okay.
Um, so a few people. I can't even remember some of them.
One thing, one thing I was gonna ask you because I was doing my research on before this interview. Did you work with a group like an R&B group called Intro?
Yeah, I forgot
Okay,
intro. That was a big one. Kenny Green.
Intro,
yeah, because
yeah.
I
I
feel
worked
like
with
that
Kenny Green.
intro.
We did two. We
Go
did
ahead.
two
I'm sorry.
songs. Wrote two songs together.
How was it working? How was it working on that intro album? Because I feel like it's grown to be like an underground R&B classic over the years, and people have sampled from it too.
Kenny was a bad dude. He was a great writer. He left early, but he was really good. It was good working with him. And we came up with some good stuff. Some stuff that didn't get released.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. And did you do some work on with Bobby Brown too for the Bobby album?
No, I went on tour with him for
Oh,
like
you went on tour. Okay. Okay. Okay.
5 months. Yeah, I
Okay.
went
For
on tour
5
with
months.
him.
How was that?
Working with another guy named Derek Allen on a project. He was with Janet Jackson, a bass player with Janet Jackson, and he was working with Bobby, so it was kind of connecting like that, but it didn't happen. But I did tour with him.
Got you. Got you. And what do y'all just think about the just the scene today, just the live band scene? Who are some of the cats that y'all just cats of a younger generation who y'all like to collaborate with and who y'all like to see do their thing today in 2025?
I mean, Bruno Mars. I totally enjoy Bruno Mars. I totally
Yeah.
enjoy everything they try to do visually. You know, the way they try to put together their shows. I mean, it's energetic. It's old school. Bruno Mars, the old school cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can see when he was growing up how he was groomed. You know, so he got that old school mentality, and they put on a show. The band puts on a show.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yo, do y'all have any live shows coming up too as well?
We have some stuff coming up. Hopefully, because right now we're in the studio recording new stuff.
What,
So,
what
uh, so
what's some of this new stuff? Give us a scoop.
we're keeping it high energy this this
Yeah.
this time around.
Advantage.
We're really going for some high energy dance stuff. You know what I mean? We really like, it's like doing CultJam Love. We were feeling each other out, feeling our writing styles out. So now, like, really feel like we really want to captivate what Cult Jam was initially, that heavy, that heavy on the dance floor music. So we're really
120
heading
or better. 120 BPM or better.
Yeah.
that.
Ah, that's funny. That's funny. I feel like the game is returning to that. How crucial is it for an artist to have songs on their album that are above 100 BPM in y'all's opinion? Because I feel like it's coming
I
back with
think
cats like Kendrick. Because you know like that G and X album just was full of songs with over 100 BPM. But go ahead.
exactly. Yeah, the younger people are starting to understand that and relate. That's why all they're doing is sampling the older stuff, and
Yeah.
so you know, you know, uh, that I think worldwide that energy affects, what I mean? It's a worldwide energy. When you travel around the world, when you go to London, when you go to Europe, that kind of BPM, they love that. And so people are realizing that. And Bruno, was jumping on that a while ago. It's the worldwide energy. You can play that stuff anywhere around the world and they groove to it. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, it's not a New York sound or a US sound. It's a worldwide sound. So, that high energy thing, the younger people are relating to it. And around the world, they've been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Cult Jam Love, y'all, available on all digital streaming platforms. We will look forward to new run music, of course, Friday nights on the Chill Factor show. Definitely music to dance to. We will be looking forward to new music to dance to in the future, along with spinning the Cult Jam album, the Cult Jam Love, that's out right now.
Coach Jam Love.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Yo,
Definitely.
man, thank you. It was a
Thank you for
pleasure,
having
man.
us.
Yeah,